Hello and welcome to episode 6 of Real Talk. Today we're talking about something that I recently have discovered is a really acceptable thing in my industry and also just in general. And the topic we're discussing is not being afraid to reach out to your network. This is a weird topic because it's usually a situation that you're not trying to push any boundaries. You don't want people to think that you're just trying to get something out of them, and that comes with almost being afraid to reach out to them. But it's okay, and I've had a couple scenarios recently where I reached out to my network and it actually worked out for the better. As you can expect, as time passes in the industry, you meet a lot more people. And with that, you meet a lot of cool people. You meet a lot of successful people. And this is a fun thing and it's a really useful thing, but a network is not worth anything if you don't actually use it. You might reach out to these people to help you out on projects. You might reach out to these people if you need advice in different areas. But one thing you have to realize is that these people have networks of their own. And you have to think about how you would react if somebody asked you for a recommendation. So something as simple as I was recently shooting a music video for my friend Gianni, and it was a live video. And we were in desperate need of a drummer. We didn't have a drummer on hand, and the video we wanted to shoot, we needed to have one. And so while he didn't know any in Chicago, and I didn't necessarily know any, we had no other choice than to source elsewhere. I posted on my Instagram, and he also posted on his Instagram, but nothing happened out of that. We got a couple leads that just turned into nothing, but it kind of ignited my idea of who follows me, and better yet, who that follows me actually knows me, and who are the people that if they reached out to me, I would help them, because that helped me narrow down who I have the right to reach out to. So I have a couple friends that shoot a lot of music videos, and as you would expect, those are the people that might know a drummer in the Chicago area. So I reached out to my friend Chris, who shoots a lot of music videos. He's killing it. Follow him on Instagram, Chris Vergara. And I reached out to him and just asked him if he knew any drummers, whether it be somebody that's in a band, somebody that he knew personally, anyone, because we were pretty desperate. The only criteria is that they needed their own drum set. Some of those other leads that we got before, they could drum, but they didn't have their own set. So obviously I don't have just like a random drum set laying around. And so he actually ended up pointing me in the right direction. He had a friend from high school who he just knew personally, and I guess they worked on a little bit of stuff together in the past, and they just knew each other on a level that he felt comfortable connecting him with me. And that brings me to a new point of you have to make these people comfortable with you. Whenever you make these connections, you have to put a personal connection onto it, or else you just seem like everyone else. If you have that personal connection, if you make them realize that you are a real person and you are a trusted person, then they will be more flexible whenever they are connecting you with their network. It is so valuable for you to be a real person. I just had the conversation today with my friend Pat, and we were talking about how the tough thing about client work a lot of the times is that it seems superficial. And the more fun client projects happen whenever you have these good relationships, whenever you can actually get to know them, whenever it's not just about the transaction, it's not just about you making the video and them giving you money. It's about on that call that you have with them, asking how their family is, asking how things are going. And building that relationship is so valuable, and it might not even mean anything in that specific project, but I bet you whenever they're thinking about hiring somebody else for a video down the line, you're going to come to their mind because you genuinely cared about who they were as a person. So going back to the story about finding the drummer, so Chris connected me with the drummer. So I got his contact info and forwarded over to Gianni, and I trust Gianni to handle that whole situation because I know he's not going to do anything wrong. He's going to handle the situation completely professionally, and it took it out of my hands. So for that example, Gianni's one of the people in my network that I could connect with anyone, and I'm not nervous that he's going to make a fool out of me. And I have been told by John in the past, who I guess you could look at as my mentor, he can recommend me to anyone, and I'm not going to make a fool out of him. This is a really, really valuable thing. And it's valuable because they're friendships then. They're not just work relationships. Whenever you have a friendship, it means a lot more. Whenever you have a friendship, it means that if you have this project that you're really passionate about, but maybe not a huge budget, you're still comfortable reaching out to these people because you can be real and raw with them. Something I value about a business relationship is whenever people can just be straight up about what's going on. I hate whenever people beat around the bush and people end up lying about how much money they have or lie about the potential of a new project because it gets annoying and you end up just wasting time. Whenever somebody maybe doesn't have a lot of money but they're passionate about a project, it's nice when they reach out with that intention because it makes you want to almost sacrifice more for them. It's tough to work whenever somebody says they have this endless budget, but then comes to be that they don't and they were just trying to screw you over. So another time that reaching out to my network really worked was actually today. I had somebody reach out about a potential gig in Indianapolis, and I personally couldn't do it because I have another obligation, but I know that in my network of photographers, there's somebody that knows somebody in Indianapolis. And there's no doubt in my mind about that. Especially they know other photographers there, which in this specific case is what we were looking for. So I texted a friend of mine and I just asked him, since I know that he shot some Indianapolis Colts games in the past, I just asked him, hey, do you know any good photographers in Indianapolis? Sure enough, he sends me somebody's info. I can connect my potential client with them. And even though I'm not making the money from that gig, it looks good on my end. I'm doing them a service. I'm not looking at this in a competitive way. I'm not saying, no, if I can't get the gig, then nobody can, because that's not a great way of looking at things. You need to make these good relationships. You need to have these people trust you. And me forwarding this contact info for another photographer, for him to make the money, for him to take this gig and do it as he will with it, it's valuable. Then I turn into somebody in this person's network that they might forward on. So while I'm not saying give to take, like I mentioned in a previous video, there's nothing worse than somebody that gives, just in case they need you to do a favor because then they feel like you are obligated to help them. I'm saying just be a good person to be around. And whenever you're somebody in somebody else's network and they see you working constantly and they see you putting in the time, they're going to think of you. Whenever they need somebody that's in maybe more of your space, so I'm in the social media video space, if somebody's looking for somebody to make a social media video, they're going to reach out to me. And if I can't do that, then I know people in the social space that I can recommend that have different expertises in different categories. So this brings me to my next point of people can discover you just because they're watching your content. And that sounds really obvious, but I've had this happen a lot before. And if you're posting on your Instagram, you're posting on any social media, TikTok, Twitter, it really helps because you stay in people's minds. If I'm posting on my Instagram a good amount, people are seeing that content. It's not going unnoticed. And you might not think that anyone's really seeing it because they aren't necessarily interacting or anything, but those people that are seeing your content that aren't interacting, they're the same ones that might have a video project in 2 weeks from now. They're the same ones that they might be at a family party and their aunt or uncle who owns a business is talking about, oh, I need this video made. Then, because they saw your Instagram story early that day, they're going to think of you as who they should recommend. And that is a valuable thing because you didn't necessarily go out of your way to reach out to them directly to make this happen. You stayed with what you knew and you posted where you knew you could reach a decent amount of people. You posted where you knew that you could provide some sort of value, and even though the topic that you might have posted on, you might have been talking about, isn't what this turned into, you still got your face in their mind, and then you had them remember you whenever somebody to make a video, to make a photo came up. So it comes back to being a good person. Be that person in somebody's network that they know they can go to. Be that person that provides a whole lot of value whenever they think of you. And on site, make that good relationship. Make that relationship one that they will remember. Remember, connect with them on a personal level and really provide value whenever you're talking to somebody. So don't be afraid to reach out to your network. Don't be afraid to reach out to somebody if you're looking for a job. If you're looking for a job, chances are every single person out there has been in the same situation as you. You're not the only person that's been kind of lost and really searching for what's next. But one thing that you do know is that you know people. Your network might not be crazy. You might not know a ton of people, but you do have family, friends. You have friends that you've met throughout the years. And if you're a good person, if you're a nice person to be around, even if you don't have the closest relationship with whoever you're reaching out to, they still will want to help you. I've seen it happen a lot in the past. I know when my brother was searching for some jobs, he reached out to some people that my family had good connections with. And he reached out to friends of his that had connections. And I don't even know if any of those turned into anything, but people are willing to help if you're willing to ask. You're not going to get anything if you're not willing to ask for it. And it's okay to ask those successful people for advice. Ask them if they know anyone that's hiring, because at the end of the day, maybe somebody's not hiring, but they like you, so they can make a spot. I've seen that happen a lot. If somebody really wants you to work for them, then they'll figure it out. And if you provide value that just really goes noticed and people just can't ignore, then you're going to get in the right doors. You're going to meet the right people. You're going to get the right opportunity, and everyone will start to notice it. So go out and reach out to your network. If you have a hard situation, ask for advice from somebody that you know has been through it before. If you're starting a business, reach out to your friends that have started businesses before. If you're picking up a camera for the first time, shoot a couple DMs off. That's how I met some people. And just don't be afraid to ask, because most people are nice out there. Most people have been in your shoes before, and most people have went through those trials and tribulations, because as you listen to podcasts, as you listen to interviews, every single successful person, when they get asked, what's your biggest mistake? They'll say, boy, I made so many. I've heard that so many times, and it's the truth. Everyone makes a lot of mistakes. So it's okay to reach out to people because they have been in this scenario before too. They want to help you through it. They want to see you succeed. So thanks for watching. I hope this helped a little bit. Have a good day. Peace out, guys. See you next episode.